מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה טוב. טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's really good to be in this space. This is my first time back praying here on a Friday night since 2020, and this is Jessica's very first time praying here ever, and so it's really great to be back in here to pray in this wonderful acoustics, this very intimate place that we get to be typically during the summer and not very often in the past 3 years, but now once again as a community to share Shabbat together. My name is Rabbi Max. I'm here with our cantorial soloist Jessica Tillum, and of course our returning guest soloist Sydney Levy, who also grew up in our congregation, is back to lead services with us in her break from school at FSU. Take a moment, turn to those around you, greet one another, say Shabbat Shalom. Let's make this space a little bit warmer, not in temperature.
Do you want that?
Where do you want? Stand wherever you want to stand, and I'll adjust it.
That's cool. I can stay here.
Is that good?
Yeah. Is it?
Closer?
Should I? No, I feel like it's fine. Can you? As long as you're close to that, then yeah, we're good. Thank you. Oh, okay. Which one? Just, you want me to harmonize?
שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. So before we go further into our services, just want to make sure that everyone knows your sidurim are in the back of your chair. So if you are looking for a siddur, you don't see one, it's in the back of your chair. Also, we have extras over in that row, or if you need one, just raise your hand, and I'm sure someone has one next to them. All right. Take this time to turn off any cell phones, anything that might beep or buzz or remind you that it's time for the Braves game or for medicine or whatever you typically have a reminder for. Let's turn it off right now because we're here to enjoy this time together, not to be bothered by anything that might take place outside of these walls. In case you need to exit the sanctuary, the exit over there and behind me. And let's enjoy our time together by lighting Shabbat candles. So I want to invite up Dina Profis to light our Shabbat candles as we rise as a congregation, page 120. Just take that, yep.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you very much. If you would like to light your own Shabbat lights before we go further into our service, you can please go out through this door and you'll find Shabbat candles. For everyone else, we're on page 142 for Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei
Hasharei. And you can be seated. You can be seated. Hey Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lechem l'shalom. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We welcome the beauty of Shabbat with Lechadodi, found on page 138. Likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, kabelai, Lechadodi, likrat kalai, yalalai, yalalai, Pnei Shabbat, kabelai. Emanu-El hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, Shemu tiferet v'li tehila, Lechadodi likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, nekabelai, Lechadodi likrat kalai, yalalai, yalalai, Pnei Shabbat, nekabelai. Likrat Shabbat, l'chu v'nelcha, ki mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem, nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lechadodi likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, nekabelai, Lechadodi likrat kalai, yalalai, yalalai, Pnei Shabbat, nekabelai. Kiva orech uni ori, Shir daberi, Kvod Adonai alaych nigla. Yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, nekabelai, Lechadodi kalai, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, nekabelai. Please rise. We face the entrance. Emunei, Am Segula, Boi Chala, Boi Chala. We face forward. Likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, kabelai, Lechadodi likrat kalai, yalalai, yalalai, Pnei Shabbat, nekabelai. We remain standing, page 146 for Baruch Hu. Yain nai 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 nai. Yain nai 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 nai. Yain nai 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 nai. Yain nai 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 nai. Yain nai 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 nai. Yain nai 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 nai. Yain nai 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 nai.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. We turn to the inside back cover of our Sidurim as we bring on the evening with Roll Into Dark. And if you don't have a sticker on the back of your cover, we know that. We're getting more stickers.
Roll into dark.
Roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Orei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. We feel our feet on the ground, page 152. We join together for words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We turn to page 154 for words of V'ahavta, these words that remind us that everywhere we go, everywhere we are, we have a responsibility to carry our Judaism with us.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha
B'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'am b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech u'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim V'hiyot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. Our song of freedom, the song our ancestors sang so many generations ago, Mi Chamocha, page 158.
Yai lai 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 lai
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehilo dosei felech, nora tehilo dosei felech.
Malechutecha ra'u manecha,
Okay,
Yam lifnei Moshe. Ze'lianu ve'ameru, ze'lianu ve'ameru.
Adonai imlok olam va'ed, Adonai imlok le'olam le'olam va'ed. Page 161. Page 160, excuse me. Our song, our prayer, Hashkivenu, this prayer reminding us that wherever we are relying on the strength from God, from one another, to ensure that when we lie down, we rise up safely, that we rise up able to pursue God's will in our world. Page 160, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai,
Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
Ushmor tziteinu, uvoenu, lechaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu
Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
Hashkivenu
Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. So yesterday, Rabbi Spike, Rabbi Rachel, and our co-presidents Dana Niger and Bill Keller and I had the opportunity to meet with Georgia's congressional representative to the 6th District, Dr. Richard McCormick. Though none of us actually live in the 6th District, and Temple Emanu-El isn't in the 6th District itself, many of our congregants and many of our fellow in our congregation do live in his district. And forming a relationship with our political representative is something that's vital to our community. Regardless of what party they're from, it's important that we have a relationship for the health of our democracy. We met with Representative McCormick so he could better get to know us, the lay leaders and the rabbis of Temple Emanu-El, and also so we could get to know him and tell him a little bit about his constituents that live in his area. What became clear through our meeting was the passion that Representative McCormick has for the citizens of his district. What impressed me most was his acknowledgement that for however many people he represents in the 6th District, there are at least that many opinions, and that wherever we agree or we disagree on matters of policy, the only way forward is by forming relationships, rather than talking about those on the other side of the issue as an other or somehow less than. Representative McCormick's approach struck me as something directly from our Torah portion from this past week. In Parshat Pinchas, Moses gets his affairs in order as he's getting ready to die and asks God to appoint a new leader over the Israelites, one who will assume a position of authority immediately after Moses' death to avoid a vacuum of power. In a midrash from a book called Tanchuma, a 9th century book of midrashim, which is I like to call rabbinic fan fiction, an explanation is provided for why Moses tells God to appoint somebody over the community and not just over them or the Israelites. The writer begins with the blessing found in the Talmud for when you see a crowd of people. There's a blessing for this. The blessing goes, "Blessed be God who discerns mysteries." It's not immediately obvious why mysteries are connected with a crowd or why that's connected with the blessing of Joshua becoming the new power in the Israelites, but the writer goes on to explain, just as their faces are unlike each other, so are they unlike in temperament. Rather, each and every individual has their own individual temperament. This is 9th century. It's pretty impressive. When Moses asks God to appoint a leader over the community, the writer of the Midrash reads into that story that Moses wants a leader who will bear with each and every person according to their own temperament. Moses knows how fractious and stiff-necked the Israelites are, and only a leader who can listen to all the many varied opinions of the Israelites will endure. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs delves deeper into this quality of leadership, saying that a prophet hears not one imperative, but two. First, guidance and compassion, a love of truth and an abiding solidarity with those whom the truth has become eclipsed, to preserve tradition and, at the same time, to defend those others condemn is the difficult, necessary task of religious leadership in an unreligious age. The role of a charismatic leader is to see the folks who feel unseen, to protect the condemned, and to remain steadfast with those who have chosen a different path. In the 12th century, Maimonides faced a similar challenge. When a fanatical Muslim sect called the Almohads migrated from North Africa to modern-day Spain, now I'm calling on your world history knowledge here. When the Almohads migrated up to modern-day Spain, the Jewish community faced few choices, none of them good, much like they would face later on in the Inquisition. The Almohads offered Jews the choice of fleeing their land and leaving behind all their possessions, dying as martyrs, or converting to Islam. Like during the Inquisition, many Jews who outwardly converted remained privately in their home practicing Jews. As you can imagine, Jews who publicly renounced Judaism while remaining privately Jewish were in between identities, not quite Muslim, but also not totally Jewish anymore either. Maimonides wrote an open letter to such people called Igeret Hashmad, an epistle for a forced convert, a kind of an open letter to those in the Spanish Muslim Jewish community. In it, Maimonides walks the fine line of reproving those Jews who had converted over coercion while offering hope for them and their Jewish identity. On the one hand, those who forcibly converted committed an act against God, albeit under duress. On the other hand, that these forced converts continue to practice their Judaism, continue to observe the commandments, especially in private, where they get no brownie points for being seen by others, means that they can still atone for their wrongdoing and they can still find favor with God. Their Jewish identity still remains with them. Maimonides remains steadfast in his belief that choosing forced conversion, rather fleeing or accepting martyrdom, was perhaps the least good option. However, he shows solidarity with those who made this impossible decision. Holding the views and decisions of many different people, each with their own temperament, is a quality of true leadership. Maimonides, as well as Moses and Joshua, expressed their beliefs while also showing solidarity with those who chose differently. The key to such leadership, a lesson for all of us, is to try and form relationships and connections with all people, each with our own temperament and beliefs. Only then can we truly march forward. Our meeting with Representative McCormick was a good start. We don't hold the same views on many social issues, but I respect his great willingness to state that people should treat each other better in government, even perhaps especially when they disagree. Representative McCormick wants to pursue a greater truth rather than score points and win an argument. This approach is much like what we would call a machloket l'shem shamayim, a dispute for heaven's sake. A dispute for heaven's sake is one where the integrity of the human being you're talking with is upheld even while you disagree. The opposite of such a dispute is called a dispute like those of Korach and his followers, a zero-sum game. Ultimately, a leader's actions matter far more than their words, but forming honest relationships with sincere thought partners is a very good start. Shabbat Shalom. We rise for the Amidah, found on page 164.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach,
Ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Ata Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Hamunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Ata Lechayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaKol
Atakadosh Kashim
HaKadosh U'Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yihallelu Chasela Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We pause now for some moments of our own silent prayers and reflections. When your prayers have concluded, I invite you to be seated.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Aron lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Aron
Lechol HaShalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael
Tasim le'olam.
Tasim le'olam, tasim le'olam.
It's really nice to have you back. It's usually a treat that we get at High Holy Days to hear you sing, Sydney, and it's always a treat because we have Jessica here, but it's nice to hear both of you together. It's really, really wonderful. So glad that this was able to happen.
I just heard she might be home for one of the high holidays this year, so I'm putting it in her ear right now.
All right. We'll take as many High Holy Days as we can get. That's right. So there aren't that many announcements other than Tot Shabbat is tomorrow. If you know any Tots or are the parent or grandparent of any Tots, or you just want to come for free bagels, they're delicious. It's from Brooklyn Bagels. And enjoy some time together at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, Tot Shabbat. And then, of course, Torah study, as always, is at 9 a.m. 8:30 is when we're going to have the Kaddish Minyan. So if you know someone or you yourself are saying Kaddish for a loved one tomorrow as well, you can come to that Kaddish Minyan too and join us there. Before we keep going on our service, let's take a moment to say Shechianu, a moment of gratitude for any of those good moments that we've had in our past week, in our month, since you've last been here. If you want to share something, say your name and share with us that thing that is bringing a smile to your face, that joyful moment that happened. And the reason why I left the sanctuary at the end of silent prayer was because we have a microphone so that the folks online, you can wave at them, hi, can hear us as well when we're going around. So raise your hand, tell us something that has been going on in your life that is bringing a smile to your face.
Our daughter is in Israel for the summer, and we've all been there but not together, and our whole family will be there next week.
Wow, that's so exciting.
One, my surgery went well, but two, all four of my grandchildren are going to be officially campers at Camp Judea in Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Ah,
There are many generations of this.
yeah. It's not a pass on the thing, but yeah, exactly.
I am getting married.
Wow, Mazel Tov. Next year. Others. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Well, what's making me smile is Sydney up there leading services.
Amen. Yes.
What makes me smile is I've got my girlfriend Alice here with me, and I've been living with her now for 1 year.
Wow, Mazel Tov. What could you be
My
thankful
heart-
for? It's not gonna. It's for people online.
Oh, okay. My heart was very full this past week as I'm gonna cry. We had all 5 of us under one roof for the first time in 11 months.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Other happy moments.
I've got a few from
Yeah.
the past few weeks.
Please.
I had a wonderful trip to Hilton Head with my family
Oh.
and my husband, and then we went to Blue Ridge with his family. It was really nice, and our son took his first steps this week.
Oh, yay! Mazel Tov. That's so great. Well, mine isn't as great as First Steps, but it's been. I've been growing a garden this year, trying to see how much I can grow, and I think I hauled in like 3 or 4 pounds of cherry tomatoes over the past month, and so it's been a very delicious month of cherry tomato season, and so I'm really enjoying my harvest.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right, well, bringing in all of those wonderful things together, we join in with a Shehechianu prayer of gratitude to God for enabling us to reach this wonderful moment. If you'd like the words, page 648.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu,
Melech haolam, Shehechianu vekimanu vehegianu, lazman hazeh. Just as we hold one another when we are celebrating the good moments, we also know that it's important to be a community for those who are in need of healing, in need of strength of body, of mind, of spirit, or of relationship. In our community, we are particularly praying for the healing for Rob Gilbert and Brenda Grazier, Chaim Ben Sara, Meir Ben Rachmiel Vidina, Alvin Levy, Kaska Mishkogi, Dick Needle, Harvey Apple, Dana Weber, Audrey Winograd, Ken Schiffer, Karnina Michal Bat Yitzchak Vetova, Jennifer Herman, Neil Schwartz, Bat Avigal Pesach, Jordan Mandel, Jeffrey Crispo, Mark Lodinger, Ashley Bearfield, Aliza Chaya Bas Leah, and Jerome Weinstein. If you are praying for the healing of a loved one or for yourself around this Shabbat, I invite you to please rise and share the name of that love. Share your name of or the loved one who you are praying for their healing of.
For my cousin, Michael Herendorf.
Thank you.
For Linda Walker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We join together as a community, rising as one with words of Mishaberach Lecholim in the middle of page 371. If you'd like to put your arms around each other, feel free. Eberach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We remain standing, page 123 for Kiddush. And if there's anyone under the age of 13 who wants to come up and get some grape juice, they can even bring a parent if they'd like. Or a grandparent. We join together with Kiddush, page 123. You get the big cup this time. Ellie, you get the big cup.
Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha- Take one. Gafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat, Shabbat Shalom. You can take it back to your seat if you'd like. You can just keep enjoying that. And if you want to help us, Ella, you can help open up the ark doors over here. We're going to remain standing, page 586 for Aleinu L'Shabeach. Grab the door right here. Pull it back.
Aleinu l'shabeach
Don hakol. Grab that one. La'li yotzer breshit shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu koim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Thank you very much. You can all be seated. Before we conclude our service, we do so in memory of loved ones who have died in recent days or in years past. In our community, we are thinking of the family in Shloshim for Maxine Rosen, and for those yard sites which occur around this Shabbat, for Ralph Asher, Sybil Barnett, Alvin Barron, Donald Berman, Aaron Berzoff, Bob Buchanek, Jill Chaliff, Jean Cohen, Marilyn Cohen, Cyril Dembo, Sarah Dibner, Murray Edelson, Dora Fisher, Sophie Goldman, Estelle Grazier, Maxine Kahn, Danny Kalman, Sylvia Katz, Seymour Levy, Mildred Moskov, Ann Plocker, Victor Profis, Dorothy Rosenblum, Sidney Rosenthal, Lester Sack, David Satloff, Rose Satloff, Natalie Schlissel, Joseph Sharon, Alan Spett, Samuel Stahl, Reba Stein, Howard Stein, Leonard Tannenbaum, Lillian Waxman, Harriet Zellman, and Israel Zimmerman. If you are in the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise and remain standing so our congregation might recognize you. If you're in the first year mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise. If you are commemorating a yard site, the death anniversary of a loved one around this Shabbat, I invite you to please rise at this time. And if it is your custom to rise with those who mourn for the 6 million who perish in the Shoah and for all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we do so now at this time as we join together for Kaddish Yatom, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach li'olam u'amei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Yaseh Shalom bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Say Shalom bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oh, say Shalom bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oh, say Shalom bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Say Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We remain standing for our blessing over challah, our braided bread, as we braid ourselves together. If you'd like to hold hands or hold arms, we join together in our blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Cindy, that was so fun. You were feeling yourself.
It's a one slide. That one slide. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Of course, you're always welcome. Okay, wait, what should I do? Is this on?
It's still on.